Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Brian Mast, awesome first name, isn't it? Brian Mast hits an absolute home run on CNN when Kaitlan Collins tries to corner him on a very, very touchy issue, and he shows us just how you're supposed to do it. But before we dive into the video, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors at NativePath. Folks, their products, particularly their collagen peptides, can benefit your health, but more on that later. Now, let's get back into the video.
Looking at the fact that, the president respects our service members, every single one of them that I've seen come in contact with, he goes out there, he speaks to them, he learns about their service. Where were they? What did they do? Guys that don't have legs. Hey, how are those legs doing for you? Do you see other people that get those in the civilian world? He asks things about people because he cares about our veterans. And I see it day in, day out.
Yep.
But Congressman, I think maybe people would see this differently if it didn't come in the context of the other comments Trump has made about John McCain and saying he prefers soldiers who aren't captured in war. What General Kelly confirmed that Trump did make the comment about losers and suckers when he was on that Paris trip in 2018. And I think it's the wider context of comments that people around him and that we've heard him make himself, like about John McCain respectively, denigrating military service.
He does not denigrate our military. He loves our military. They are the party. We are the party. President Trump is the candidate. J.D. Vance is the candidate that want to make sure our individuals, that their service is not squandered like what happened with the withdrawal from Afghanistan. Harris and Biden, they squandered the service of every veteran that served in Afghanistan because of that withdrawal, because they failed to talk about the failures that exist there. They look at us.
Well, I'm not sure that's
disposable.
fair to say, Congressman.
I think it's fair. They see us as disposable. When President Biden goes out onto a tarmac, checks his watch, they're seeing us as disposable individuals. When they don't calculate the cost of war for when you come home, right now, let's talk about a factual thing. If you're in the VA right now and you're getting care for mental health counseling in the community, the Harris-Biden administration is trying to strip you of your community care. They want you to come back into the VA no matter the wait times. That's the population most vulnerable of 22 veterans a day suicide.
But Congressman,
that's the Harris-Biden administration.
I think you can disagree with them on policy, disagree with them on the Afghanistan exit. We've had plenty of Republicans here who have. But to say that President Biden it doesn't appreciate military service, given his son, I think you would agree that's an unfair comment.
I wouldn't say that at all. We're comparing.
You're talking about words for granted is not fair.
You're talking about words of President Trump versus literal actions of the Biden administration. Again, and I'll use these words. They go out there and they treat our service. His son did serve in the military, but he's treating the rest of the military like we are disposable, and we are not. And that's the way that his administration has treated service members on the battlefield and those that came home, as though we're disposable items that you can get rid of.
He's absolutely right. He said nothing wrong that whole clip. And by the way, Kaitlan Collins, I have black friends, so I can't be racist. I said that so liberals will understand what she just said. She says, oh, Joe Biden had his son in the military. He clearly cares about the military. Well, about as much as Tim Walz does about actually standing up for your country. Because remember, Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, the man who is now running to be vice president, when he was called upon to go to war, he resigned immediately and then lied about his combat experience and his rank and his record. Maybe he just is a political opportunist who does nothing but lie. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about how stupid and vile Tim Walz can be. No, we are here to talk about Trump's record on the military versus Joe Biden's. And not to mention how they actually treat service members. Donald Trump, when he goes down the tarmac, when he was flying in Air Force One, would salute the men, even picked up a hat off of a Marine on a windy day. We'll talk to them. We'll ask them questions. Meanwhile, Joe Biden just goes, whatever. He checks his watch during a service meant to honor our fallen heroes. Donald Trump, meantime, was actually out at a ceremony at Arlington Cemetery the other day to honor the 13 service members who fell because Joe Biden botched the plan and completely screwed over the people trying to leave Afghanistan. That was an absolute disaster, and arguably led to Russia realizing, hey, we've got an idiot over here who's not going to do anything. Let's go invade Ukraine. Hey, y'all, I wanted to give a quick shout out to our new sponsors, Native Path. Created by Dr. Chad out of Austin, Texas, he realized that there was something deeply wrong in this medical community. And instead of focusing on nutrition, they were just focused on serving Big Pharma. So he left and created this new company called Native Path. And what do they do over there? They sell something called collagen. Now, what is collagen? Well, it's not magic fairy dust. It's not this muscle milk. It's not calcium rich. Instead, it is an odorless, flavorless, dissolves completely in water powder that you can mix. And unlike iocane powder, this stuff has massive health benefits. It can help your bones, your joints, your ligaments, your skin, your hair follicles, even your fingernails. This stuff is absolutely packed with the nutrients that we lose so constantly in our modern diet. This stuff is a fantastic supplement, can help you live a healthier life. And if you go to this link down here below, you will find up to 45% off of certain products. That is how much Native Path cares about your health. So go check them out, link in the description below. And now, back to regularly scheduled programming. Seriously, that is part of the logic that he used, the calculus that he used in order to go in and invade Ukraine. That's what started this whole thing. The weaknesses of Joe Biden's foreign policy, the way he does not care about his veterans, the way that he just sees them as expendable. Brian Mast is right. They see soldiers, or at least Democrats do, as expendable. And furthermore, if veterans go outside of the VA to get care they need, the Biden and Harris administration try to take away those rights. Again, Brian Mast is correct. And here Kaitlan Collins is trying to say, well, no, he seems to care about our military veterans. No, he does not. Joe Biden does not. Kamala Harris, I can guarantee you, does not. She only cares about the same thing that Tim Walz cares about, political opportunity. See, most liberals, most Democrats will talk tough on social issues. They'll give that lip service. They'll sign some things into law because it placates part of their voters. They don't actually think like this. They are doing what they need to do in order to stay elected. And arguably, they're kind of a bulwark. It's a big irony because they are the bulwark against absolute nut jobs really getting into office. But they're also realizing that their coalition is trying to pull them back into the center. There's a reason why Jamal Bowman lost. There's a reason why Cori Bush got replaced. And there's a reason why Ilhan Omar, we were hoping she was going to lose, but she pulled off some stunt at the last moment. There's something shady happened in that election. I don't know if it was coalition-based or election-based. But the Socialist Squad has lost a couple of members this election cycle in the primaries. They weren't going to lose in the general because no Republican's going to win that in those districts. But ultimately, the Democrats are opportunists. They don't fully believe what they're doing. Most of them, like Joe Biden himself, if his mind was still there, he still thinks of himself as a 90s Democrat. Tough on crime, pro-labor, pro-American worker, even tough on illegal immigration. Because they knew that the average American in the center cares about those things. That center has been abandoned, and that's why Trump is moving to the middle. But I'll get to that on another video. Ultimately, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris seem to look at our veterans and seem to look at our military as these expendable items that they get to play with. Mainly because the other problem with Democrats seems to be that they love abusing power once they get it. And it's tough to not abuse power once you've been given it. Because absolute power corrupts absolutely. And Brian Mast is absolutely right. And Kaitlan Collins is struggling, doing her best, trying to make sure that her viewership hears exactly what it wants to hear. Because that is what CNN does. They try to placate the news for rich white liberals and their kids. Because for some reason, these rich white liberals who are currently in power right now don't want to know the truth. That's what happens when you live up in an ivory tower. And Brian Mast knows this from experience because he's been through the meat grinder that is our military and the VA. A man who can joke about having leg problems because his got blown to bits has got to be a man to be reckoned with. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Political Brawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.